the homeless philosopher who saved a corporation. In the heart of the city, among the towering skyscrapers that loomed like giants over the streets, lived a man known to few and seen by fewer. His name was Mason. But to most people, he was simply the homeless guy, a shadow of a person wrapped in layers of old, tattered clothing, sitting quietly in the corner of the park near the corporate district. His hair, long and unkempt, told the story of years spent outside the realms of normalcy, and his eyes, though weary, carried a wisdom that most would overlook. The city moved fast, and its people moved faster. Every day, hundreds of corporate professionals hurried past Mason without a second glance. They were wrapped up in their worlds of deals, profits, and endless deadlines. To them, Mason was invisible. Just another part of the cityscape, like the park benches or the occasional street artist. One cold evening, as the last rays of the sun dipped behind the buildings, Mason watched the people begin to disperse. The noise of the day was fading, replaced by the distant hum of city lights. It was then that he noticed someone unusual approaching a man in a sharply tailored suit with his tie loosened and the look of exhaustion etched across his face. The man paused at the edge of the park and stared into space as if the weight of the world had fallen on his shoulders. Mason recognized that look. It was the same one he had worn many years ago before everything changed. The man in the suit was Nathan Coleman, CEO of one of the largest corporations in the city, a titan of industry. But in this moment, he looked like anything but a titan. Nathan had spent the last few months trying to save his company from collapse. Despite its impressive size and reputation, things had begun unraveling quickly. Internal strife, plummeting stocks, and an ever-growing sense of doom had driven him to the edge. The board had already whispered of replacing him, and the pressure was unbearable. Nathan collapsed onto a bench near Mason, letting out a deep sigh. He looked around as if noticing the world for the first time in months. His gaze fell on Mason, who sat quietly, observing him. Their eyes met, and for a brief moment, Nathan felt an odd sense of connection to this man. Maybe it was because they were both in a state of collapse, just in different ways. "Rough day?" Mason asked, his voice low but steady. Nathan looked at him, surprised. "Yeah," he replied after a moment. "Rough couple of months, actually." Mason nodded knowingly. "I know the feeling. Used to be part of that world myself." Nathan raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Really? Hard to believe." "Not so hard," Mason said, leaning back on the park bench. "The higher you climb, the harder you fall. The trick is knowing how to land." Nathan couldn't help but chuckle darkly. "What if you can't land? What if you're falling forever?" Mason smiled, a glimmer of something deeper in his eyes. "No one falls forever. You just have to find the ground again." There was a silence between them, the kind that stretched out and settled like a heavy blanket. Nathan wasn't sure why, but he felt compelled to keep talking. There was something about Mason that put him at ease. Maybe it was the calmness, the way he seemed completely untouched by the chaos of the world around them. "My company is failing," Nathan said, the words spilling out before he could stop them. "No one knows what to do. I've tried everything, hired every expert, listened to every piece of advice. Nothing's working." Mason didn't respond immediately. He stared out into the park, watching the last of the daylight fade. "What is your company about?" he asked. Nathan blinked, surprised by the simplicity of the question. "About? Well, we provide solutions." "No," Mason interrupted gently. "I don't mean what you sell. I mean, what is it about? Why does it exist?" Nathan hesitated, unsure of how to answer. He had spent his entire career chasing profits, expanding markets, and outperforming competitors. But the deeper purpose behind it all? He hadn't thought about that in years, if ever. "I don't know," Nathan admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. Mason turned to him, his expression unreadable. "That's why you're failing. A company without a purpose is like a man without a soul. It might look strong on the outside, but inside, it's hollow. And hollow things break easily." Nathan sat back, stunned by the simplicity of the truth. It was something no consultant had ever told him, no business school professor had ever taught him. Yet, in this moment, it made perfect sense. "But how do I fix that?" Nathan asked, desperation creeping into his voice. "How do I give it purpose?" The words lingered in Nathan's mind long after he left the park that evening. He thought about them the entire way home during the restless night that followed, and in the quiet moments of the next morning. For the first time in a long while, he felt something shift inside him. A sense of clarity, like a fog lifting. As the days turned into weeks, Nathan found himself returning to the park every evening. Each time, he sought out Mason, who had become an unexpected confidant. Their conversations flowed like a river, often starting with Nathan's latest corporate challenges and evolving into profound discussions about life, philosophy, and the essence of humanity. Mason's insights resonated deeply with Nathan. He learned that true leadership wasn't just about profits, it was about people, relationships, and shared values. Mason spoke about community, trust, and the importance of a company being a force for good in the world. The more Nathan listened, the more he realized how far his corporation had strayed from those principles. One chilly evening, as the first hints of winter crept into the air, Nathan arrived at the park with a newfound determination. He found Mason sitting on their usual bench, wrapped in his layers, but with an unmistakable light in his eyes. "I think I've figured it out," Nathan said, catching his breath from his brisk walk. "What our purpose should be." Mason turned his gaze to Nathan, intrigued. "Go on." "We've been focused so much on the bottom line that we've lost sight of what truly matters," Nathan explained. "We should be creating products that help people, that improve their lives. It's not just about making money, it's about making a difference." Mason smiled, a genuine warmth radiating from him. "That's a great start. But remember, it's not enough just to create something good. You have to communicate that purpose to everyone in your company. They need to understand it, believe in it." Nathan nodded, feeling a spark of excitement. "You're right. I need to involve my team in this. I want them to feel the same passion I do." Over the next few weeks, Nathan transformed his approach. He began hosting open forums at the office, inviting employees from all levels to share their thoughts on what the company could do to create a positive impact. He encouraged everyone to voice their ideas and passions. The response was overwhelming. Employees who had previously felt disconnected began to engage, offering innovative solutions and sharing their visions for a brighter future. As the company culture began to shift, Nathan invited Mason to join one of the forums as a guest speaker. Mason, with his unique perspective on life and people, was more than willing to help. On the day of the meeting, Nathan introduced Mason to the employees, and the atmosphere was electric with curiosity. Mason spoke passionately, weaving stories of resilience, community, and the true value of human connection. He urged the employees to think beyond their roles and remember the impact their work could have on real lives. The room was silent, captivated by his words. For the first time, employees felt a sense of purpose beyond just their jobs. After Mason's speech, Nathan witnessed a transformation in his team. Ideas began to flow like water, and collaboration became the norm. Projects shifted focus from mere profit margins to solving real-world problems. The company's first initiative was to create a product that addressed an urgent social issue, a line of eco-friendly items designed to reduce waste and promote sustainability. As the new projects rolled out, the company began to gain traction in the market once again. News of their initiative spread, attracting attention not just from consumers, but also from media outlets. Nathan felt a renewed sense of hope, buoyed by the energy and enthusiasm of his team. However, just when things seemed to be turning around, Nathan faced a daunting challenge. The board of directors, initially skeptical of his unorthodox approach, grew increasingly impatient. They were primarily concerned with the company's stock prices, which had not yet rebounded to previous heights. Whispers of a vote of no confidence began to circulate among them, and Nathan felt the weight of that pressure bearing down. In the midst of this turmoil, he sought out Mason again, needing guidance and clarity. They met in the park one rainy afternoon, the air heavy with anticipation. "I'm scared, Mason," Nathan admitted, his voice trembling. "The board wants results, and they're not willing to wait. I feel like I'm going to lose everything again, all because I tried to do the right thing." Mason listened, his expression calm and steady. "Remember, Nathan, change takes time. You've started a movement within your company, but movements can't be rushed. They need nurturing and patience." "But they don't see the bigger picture," Nathan replied, frustration lacing his words. "They only care about numbers." "Then you have to show them," Mason said. "Show them the impact of your work. Use your upcoming board meeting as an opportunity to illustrate the changes. Show them stories, testimonials from employees and customers. Make them feel the passion you've ignited." That evening, Nathan returned home feeling renewed. He spent hours preparing for the meeting, collecting data, drafting a compelling presentation that highlighted the company's new purpose and the positive changes in employee morale and customer feedback. The day of the board meeting arrived, and Nathan stood before the board members, each one casting a scrutinizing gaze upon him. As he began his presentation, he spoke with a conviction he hadn't felt in a long time. He shared stories of employees who felt empowered, customers who appreciated the new initiatives, and the positive feedback flooding in from the community. As he concluded, Nathan looked around the room, noting the thoughtful expressions on the board members' faces. He could feel the tension in the air, but he also sensed a shift and openness to the message he was delivering. Just as he finished, one of the board members, a longtime skeptic of Nathan's approach, raised her hand. "This is impressive, Nathan. But how do we ensure that this isn't just a temporary change? How do we sustain this momentum?" Nathan took a deep breath, prepared for this question. "We institutionalize it. We create a new vision statement that reflects our commitment to purpose. We engage our employees at every level and involve them in decision-making. This is not just about me. It's about all of us moving forward together." The board deliberated, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. After what felt like an eternity, the head of the board announced their decision. "We believe in the direction you're taking the company, Nathan. We want to support these initiatives. But we expect tangible results within the next quarter." Relief washed over Nathan as he realized he had earned their trust. The battle was far from over, but for the first time in months, he felt a glimmer of hope. With Mason's guidance and the renewed passion of his team, Nathan led the company into a new era. They launched several successful products that aligned with their purpose, and the community responded positively. Nathan learned the power of authentic leadership and how a shared vision could revive a corporation. But it wasn't just about the company's revival. It was also about the connections formed along the way. Nathan often visited Mason, who became a mentor in more ways than one. They shared ideas, laughed about the absurdity of corporate life, and reflected on their journeys. As time passed, Nathan found a deeper sense of fulfillment in his role. He understood that success wasn't just measured in profits, but in the lives they impacted. Mason had opened his eyes to a world beyond numbers and charts, a world filled with humanity. One day, as spring blossomed in the park and the flowers painted the landscape in vibrant colors, Nathan approached Mason with an idea. "I want to create a foundation in your name," he said, excitement sparkling in his eyes. "A foundation that supports those who've lost their way, like you once did. We can help them find their purpose." Mason looked taken aback, a mix of emotions crossing his face. "That's a generous thought, Nathan. But I didn't do this for recognition." "No," Nathan replied firmly. "You did this to show me the way. And now it's time to pay it forward." They shook hands, sealing a bond that transcended their differences. Together, they launched the foundation, focusing on mentorship, education, and rebuilding lives. Through their efforts, they inspired others to give back to the community, creating a ripple effect that reached far beyond the corporate walls. As Nathan stood by Mason in the park one sunny afternoon, watching the children play and the world thrive around them, he felt a deep sense of gratitude. Mason had not only saved his company, he had saved Nathan himself. The homeless philosopher, once overlooked by society, had become a beacon of hope for many. And Nathan had learned that sometimes the answers to life's greatest challenges come from the most unexpected places. As the foundation began to take shape, Nathan found himself increasingly dedicated to its mission. He had learned the importance of community and connection, and he was determined to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those who had lost their way, just as Mason had once done for him. They organized workshops that focused on life skills, financial literacy, and personal development. Each session was designed to empower individuals, giving them the tools they needed to rebuild their lives. Nathan invited guest speakers, successful entrepreneurs, and community leaders to share their stories of resilience. The response was overwhelming. People showed up in droves, eager to learn and connect. Among those who attended the workshops was a woman named Clara. She had faced hardships that seemed insurmountable, losing her job during a recession, battling addiction, and finding herself homeless with 2 children to care for. Clara was initially hesitant to join the program, unsure of what she could gain from it. But with encouragement from her friends and a determination to change her circumstances, she took the plunge. Nathan noticed Clara's quiet strength during the sessions. She was a sponge, absorbing the lessons and engaging with the speakers. Over time, she began to share her story, her struggles, and her dreams. Inspired by Mason's philosophy, Nathan encouraged her to pursue her passion for cooking, a skill she had honed while struggling to provide for her family. "Food brings people together," Nathan told her one afternoon after a session. "You have a gift, Clara. What if you could turn that passion into something that helps others?" With Nathan's support, Clara began crafting a plan for a catering business that focused on providing healthy meals for families in need. She dreamed of creating a community kitchen where she could teach others how to cook nutritious meals on a budget. Nathan connected her with local resources, mentors, and even helped her secure a small grant to get started. As Clara's dream took shape, she became a role model for others in the program. Her transformation inspired many, showing them that change was possible even in the darkest of times. The community kitchen opened its doors to much fanfare, and Clara became known as the culinary queen of the neighborhood. Meanwhile, Nathan's corporation was thriving. The renewed focus on purpose, community involvement, and employee engagement translated into higher employee morale and customer loyalty. The company's stock prices began to climb steadily, and the board of directors took notice of Nathan's commitment to social responsibility. As profits increased, Nathan was faced with a decision: how to allocate the newfound resources. He proposed a plan to the board that allocated a percentage of profits to the foundation, ensuring they could continue their work in the community. The board was impressed with Nathan's vision and approved the initiative. Nathan's relationship with Mason deepened as they continued to work together on the foundation. Mason became an integral part of the organization, sharing his insights, attending workshops, and mentoring individuals who sought guidance. He often reminded Nathan of the importance of humility, reminding him that their work was about the people they served, not about accolades or recognition. One sunny afternoon, as they prepared for a community event, Nathan sat down with Mason in the park. "I can't believe how far we've come," he said, a smile breaking across his face. This all started with a chance meeting in the park. Mason chuckled, his eyes twinkling. Life has a funny way of bringing people together. Sometimes, it's the most unexpected encounters that change everything. The community event was a resounding success. Families gathered for a day filled with activities, workshops, and delicious food prepared by Clara and her team. There were games for the children, informational booths about local resources, and even a talent show showcasing the skills of participants from the foundation. Laughter filled the air as people connected, shared stories, and celebrated their journeys. Nathan took the stage to address the crowd, feeling a rush of gratitude. "Thank you all for being here today. This is not just an event, it's a testament to the strength of our community. Together, we are creating change, supporting one another, and building a brighter future." As he spoke, Nathan noticed Clara in the crowd, her face beaming with pride. The kitchen was bustling with activity, and families were enjoying the meals she had prepared. In that moment, Nathan felt a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that they were making a real difference. Over the next few months, the foundation flourished, and the corporation continued to prosper. Nathan found himself busier than ever, balancing his responsibilities as CEO while actively participating in the foundation's initiatives. He often leaned on Mason for advice, and their bond grew stronger. Yet, as success flourished, so did the challenges. Nathan began to notice cracks in the foundation of the corporation's culture. Some longtime executives, resistant to the changes, began to voice concerns about the direction the company was taking. They worried that the focus on social responsibility was distracting from the bottom line. In a tense board meeting, one of the executives stood up, addressing Nathan directly. "We appreciate the work being done with the foundation, Nathan, but we need to focus on profits. This social responsibility initiative is costing us money. We can't forget our primary goal." Nathan felt his heart race. He had anticipated this pushback, but had hoped it wouldn't come so soon. "But the community initiatives are what make us stronger," he replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "They're what our employees and customers value. If we lose sight of that, we risk losing everything." The argument escalated, voices raised, until Nathan finally called for a vote on the future direction of the corporation. He could feel the tension in the room, a palpable energy that left him uneasy. The results were split down the middle, reflecting the deep division within the company. After the meeting, Nathan sought solace in the park, where he often found clarity. He sat on the bench, feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders. Mason arrived shortly after, sensing his distress. "What's troubling you, my friend?" Nathan recounted the meeting, his frustration boiling over. "I thought we were on the right track. I believed everyone saw the vision we were creating. But now, it feels like I'm fighting a losing battle." Mason listened intently, his expression thoughtful. "Change is never easy, Nathan. You've made significant strides, but not everyone will understand the importance of what you're doing. It takes time for people to adjust their mindsets. But how do I convince them?" Nathan asked, desperation creeping into his voice. "I can't do this alone." "You're not alone," Mason replied, his tone firm. "You have your employees, the community, and the stories of those you've impacted. Use that as your power. Share testimonials, showcase the difference you're making, and remind them of the purpose that fuels this journey." Determined, Nathan returned to the office the next day with a renewed sense of purpose. He gathered stories from the foundation's successes, struggles, and personal transformations and compiled them into a powerful presentation for the next board meeting. He knew that numbers alone wouldn't convince them. They needed to see the humanity behind the work. At the following meeting, Nathan stood before the board, sharing heartwarming stories of individuals like Clara who had turned their lives around with a foundation support. He displayed images of community events, families gathered around the kitchen, and children laughing as they learned to cook. The room grew quiet as he spoke, the emotional impact resonating with the executives. "This is what our company stands for," Nathan concluded, his voice steady. "We are not just here to make money. We are here to make a difference. If we lose sight of that, we lose our very essence." When he finished, there was silence. Then, slowly, board members began to nod. The atmosphere shifted, and one by one, they expressed their support for Nathan's vision. In that moment, he realized that he had sparked a change within the hearts of those around him. With the board's backing, Nathan pushed forward with the foundation, solidifying partnerships with local businesses and organizations. Together, they launched new initiatives, from mentorship programs to job training, creating a network of support that extended far beyond the corporation. As the foundation grew, Nathan often turned to Mason for guidance, each conversation deepening his understanding of leadership and humanity. Mason shared stories from his past, lessons learned through hardship, and the importance of resilience in the face of adversity. One day, as they walked through the park, Mason turned to Nathan, a glint of pride in his eyes. "You've become a true leader, Nathan. You've learned to listen, to understand, and to empower those around you. That is what makes a difference." Nathan smiled, grateful for Mason's friendship and wisdom. "I couldn't have done this without you. You were the spark that ignited this fire." As the seasons changed, so did the lives of those who had been touched by the foundation. Clara flourished, her culinary business expanding, and she began mentoring others who shared her passion. The kitchen became a hub of community activity, and families benefited from healthy meals and cooking classes. Meanwhile, Nathan's corporation thrived as well. Their focus on purpose resonated with customers, leading to increased loyalty and brand recognition. Sales soared, and they received numerous accolades for their social responsibility efforts. With success came new opportunities. Nathan was invited to speak at conferences, sharing his story and the importance of combining business with purpose. He often invited Clara and Mason to join him, showcasing the real-life impact of their work. As Nathan stood on stage, addressing a crowd of aspiring entrepreneurs, he reflected on his journey. Success is not just about the numbers. It's about the lives we touch, the communities we build, and the positive change we create together. Never underestimate the power of purpose. Years passed, and the foundation continued to thrive, impacting countless lives. Nathan had transformed not only his company, but also his own understanding of success. He remained humble, always seeking to learn and grow. On a crisp autumn day, as the leaves turned golden and the air was filled with a sense of renewal, Nathan found himself back in the park, sitting on the bench where it all began. Mason joined him, a knowing smile on his face. "Look at what you've accomplished," Mason said, gesturing to the vibrant life around them. "You've changed the narrative, not just for your company, but for so many others." Nathan took a deep breath, filled with gratitude. "I never would have imagined this journey would lead me here." It all started with a simple conversation. Mason nodded, and that's the beauty of it. Sometimes, it takes just one person to change everything. You've become that person for so many. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the park, Nathan reflected on his journey, the struggles, the victories, and the incredible people he had met along the way. He had learned that purpose, connection, and compassion were the true cornerstones of success. And as he sat there, surrounded by the beauty of life, he knew that the journey was far from over. There were still more stories to be written, more lives to impact, and a world waiting to be changed. As winter approached, the atmosphere in the park shifted. The once vibrant greens were replaced by a palette of browns and whites, and the air turned crisp. Nathan found solace in the park's transformation, reflecting on the year's achievements and challenges. It had been a whirlwind of growth, not only for the foundation and the corporation, but also for Nathan himself. With the holiday season around the corner, Nathan and the foundation team decided to organize a community event to celebrate their accomplishments and bring joy to those they serve. They envisioned a festive gathering with food, entertainment, and activities for families. Clara was excited to contribute her culinary skills, and the volunteers rallied around the idea. As they began planning, Nathan's phone buzzed with messages from board members expressing their support. They suggested partnerships with local businesses to enhance the event, offering sponsorships and donations. Nathan felt a surge of gratitude for the support of the community, recognizing how far they had come. Weeks passed, and the day of the event arrived. The park transformed into a winter wonderland, adorned with twinkling lights and decorations. Families gathered, laughter filling the air as children played games, created crafts, and enjoyed the delicious food prepared by Clara and her team. Nathan stood at the entrance, welcoming guests with a warm smile. He felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him, knowing that this event symbolized the spirit of togetherness and hope. As the sun set, he gathered everyone for a short speech. "Thank you all for being here today," Nathan began, his voice filled with emotion. "This gathering is a celebration of what we've accomplished together. It's a testament to the strength of our community and the impact we can make when we unite for a common purpose." The crowd erupted in applause, and Nathan felt the energy of their shared commitment. "Let's continue to support one another, uplift each other, and remember that we are stronger together." As the night progressed, Clara took to the stage to showcase her culinary talents, sharing recipes and stories behind the dishes she had prepared. The audience was captivated, and Nathan beamed with pride as he watched her shine. She embodied the spirit of resilience, proving that dreams could be realized with hard work and determination. In the midst of the festivities, Nathan spotted Mason mingling with the crowd. He approached his friend, gratitude swelling in his heart. "I couldn't have done this without you, Mason. Your guidance has made all the difference." Mason smiled, his eyes twinkling. "It's been a pleasure to watch you grow, Nathan. You've created something beautiful here." As the evening drew to a close, Nathan looked around at the smiling faces, the warmth of community surrounding him. He felt a deep sense of purpose, knowing that they were creating a legacy that would endure. With the new year on the horizon, Nathan's thoughts turned to the future. He envisioned expanding the foundation's reach, exploring new initiatives that could empower more individuals. He began brainstorming ideas, determined to build upon the momentum they had created. One day, while meeting with the foundation team, Nathan proposed a new initiative focused on education. "What if we create scholarship opportunities for young individuals in our community? We can help them pursue their dreams and provide mentorship along the way," he suggested. The team responded enthusiastically, brainstorming ways to structure the scholarships and identify deserving candidates. They reached out to local schools and community organizations, forging partnerships that would help them identify young leaders. As they worked on the scholarship program, Nathan reflected on his own journey. He remembered the struggles he faced early in his career and the mentors who had guided him. He wanted to ensure that the next generation had access to the resources they needed to succeed. Months passed, and the scholarship program launched successfully. They received an overwhelming number of applications from bright, passionate individuals eager to pursue their education. The selection committee carefully reviewed each application, looking for stories of resilience and determination. Among the applicants was a young man named Amir. He had grown up in a challenging environment, facing obstacles that would have deterred many. However, Amir's passion for technology and his desire to create positive change fueled his ambition. He submitted a compelling application, detailing his vision for a tech startup that would provide affordable educational resources to underprivileged communities. When Nathan learned about Amir's story, he felt a connection. "This young man embodies everything we stand for," he told the selection committee. "We need to support him." Amir was awarded the scholarship, and Nathan reached out personally to congratulate him. They arranged to meet at the park, where Nathan shared his own experiences and offered mentorship. Amir was filled with excitement and gratitude, eager to learn from someone who had walked a similar path. Their mentorship blossomed, with Nathan guiding Amir through the challenges of entrepreneurship and encouraging him to refine his ideas. They often met in the park, where Amir shared his progress and sought advice on navigating the complexities of starting a business. As spring approached, Nathan found himself energized by the impact of the scholarship program. He watched as Amir and other scholarship recipients began to thrive, forming a network of young leaders committed to giving back to their communities. With the foundation's success and the growing impact of the scholarship program, Nathan decided to host an annual gala to raise funds for their initiatives. The event would showcase the stories of scholarship recipients and celebrate the achievements of the foundation. Planning the gala became a collaborative effort, with the entire team rallying together to create a memorable evening. Clara volunteered to cater the event, while Mason agreed to speak about the foundation's mission. On the night of the gala, the venue was transformed into a stunning space filled with elegance and warmth. Guests arrived dressed in their finest attire, eager to support the cause. Nathan welcomed everyone with a heartfelt speech, sharing the impact of their work and the stories of those whose lives had been changed. As the evening progressed, Clara showcased her culinary talents, delighting guests with her dishes. Amir took the stage to share his journey, captivating the audience with his passion and vision. "I am proof that with support and determination, dreams can become a reality," he said, his voice filled with conviction. The room erupted in applause, and Nathan felt a swell of pride. The gala was not just a fundraising event, it was a celebration of community, resilience, and hope. As the night came to a close, Nathan realized that this was just the beginning. The foundation had become a catalyst for change, empowering individuals to reclaim their narratives and create a better future. Over the following months, Nathan continued to nurture the foundation, expanding its reach and impact. He implemented new initiatives focused on mental health awareness, job training, and entrepreneurship. Each program aimed to address the diverse needs of the community and uplift those who sought support. Amir, inspired by Nathan's guidance, launched his tech startup. With Nathan's mentorship and the foundation's support, he developed an innovative platform that provided educational resources and mentorship to underprivileged youth. His success became a shining example of the foundation's mission. As the years went by, the foundation flourished, touching the lives of countless individuals. Clara's culinary business expanded, and she began teaching cooking classes in schools, inspiring the next generation of chefs. Mason continued to mentor those who sought his wisdom, becoming a beloved figure in the community. One day, as Nathan walked through the park, he paused to reflect on the journey. He could hardly believe how far he had come, from a struggling CEO to a leader dedicated to creating positive change. The lessons he had learned along the way were invaluable, shaping not only his career, but his understanding of what it meant to be a true leader. Sitting on the same bench where he had met Mason all those years ago, Nathan felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. He pulled out a notebook, jotting down thoughts and ideas for the future. There was still so much work to be done, and he was eager to continue the journey. As he penned his reflections, he noticed a group of children playing nearby. Their laughter echoed through the park, a reminder of the joy and hope that surrounded him. It was moments like these that fueled his passion, a passion for creating a world where everyone had the opportunity to thrive. Years later, Nathan stood at the podium of a national conference, sharing the story of the foundation and the impact it had made. "It all began with a simple idea," he said, his voice resonating with conviction. "We can create change when we come together as a community, supporting one another and lifting each other up." The audience erupted in applause, and Nathan felt a surge of purpose. He had transformed not only his company, but also the lives of countless individuals. As he concluded his speech, he looked out into the crowd, seeing faces filled with hope and determination. Nathan knew that the journey was far from over, and he was excited for the future. In the years that followed, Nathan continued to lead with purpose, always seeking ways to innovate and expand the foundation's impact. He remained a mentor to Amir, Clara, and others, sharing knowledge and fostering a spirit of collaboration. With each passing day, the foundation grew stronger, inspiring new generations to pursue their dreams. Nathan had learned that leadership was not just about making decisions, it was about nurturing relationships, empowering others, and staying true to one's values. As the seasons changed, Nathan often returned to the park, finding inspiration in the beauty of nature and the resilience of the community. Each visit reminded him of the journey, a journey that had transformed not just his life, but the lives of many. On one particularly serene afternoon, Nathan sat on the bench with Mason, now an elder, with a lifetime of wisdom etched on his face. They reminisced about their first meeting, how far they had come, and the countless lives they had touched. "It's been a remarkable journey," Mason said, his voice tinged with nostalgia. "But the work continues. There are always more stories to be written." Nathan nodded, a smile spreading across his face. "You're right. There's always more to do, more lives to touch, and more dreams to fulfill." As they sat together, the sun setting in a blaze of colors, Nathan felt a sense of peace wash over him. He had discovered the true essence of success, not in accolades or wealth, but in the connections he had formed, the lives he had impacted, and the legacy he was building. With a heart full of gratitude, Nathan looked toward the future. He knew that the journey was ongoing, and he was ready to embrace whatever came next. And so, the story continued, an ever-evolving narrative of hope, resilience, and the power of community, forever reminding Nathan that change begins with one person willing to make a difference.